James 1:12-15, King James Version. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted by any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. I'm going to read those same verses in the NIV version. Blessed is the one who perseveres in a trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then after desire is conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Mankind understandably may look on tragedy as the curse of God, as Job's friend did. Trials are, however, the means through which God's blessings can come. One's endurance and victory and over trials bring God's blessings. Christians, therefore, are not instructed to seek avenues of escape. God desires that they may mature in the situation rather than move from it. He does, however, promise to provide an escape if the testing becomes unbearable. God's people need to meditate more on James 1:12 than 1 Corinthians 10:13. The reason for this, and why God allows trials in the lives of his people, is revealed in the Mosaic Law, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end. The temptation of verses 13 and 15 differs from that in verses 2 to 12. As the context shows, here the source is identified as internal, from one's own lust, and the outcome is death. In verses 2 to 12, the temptations or trials have an external origin, in that they fall on man. The trials of verses 2 to 12 cannot be avoided, so believers are encouraged to endure them and mature as a result. The temptations of verses 13 and 15 must be avoided, according to God's express commandments. The progression of sin from temptation to death has an analogy in the physical life cycle: conception, birth, maturity, and death. James uses words with the same Greek root in verses 2 to 12 and 13 to 15 to express different concepts. Outwardly, trials and temptations may appear the same, and what may start as a trial may develop into temptation, if not properly answered by the Word of God.